So imagine you or a loved one is suffering from addiction to opioids. That shouldn't take much imagining, actually, because somewhere between 2 and 8 million Americans are right now, depending on which study you go with. Then some internet or TV ad comes on and tells you there's a solution, a full-service treatment center in sunny Florida, no less, with most, if not all, expenses covered by your health insurance, thanks to the Affordable Care Act. But it's not until the patient arrives in the Sunshine State that the dark truth is actually revealed. They've been ensnared in a corrupt and cruel system in which the very people who've promised to help are instead profiteering off pain and suffering, incentivized by the law to keep patients in a pitiless cycle of relapse and dependency. That's what was happening for years on an industrial scale in Palm Beach County, Florida. That is until one state's attorney took the problem head on and turned things around. That is the story of a new book titled Fighting the Florida Shuffle, the inside story of corruption in the drug treatment industry and how one community found a solution. Dave Aronberg is the co-author of the book, as well as the former state attorney for Palm Beach County. Dave, welcome back to the show. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It's great to be back.
It's great to have you. You've called this Florida Shuffle. We've had you on the show before talking about it. It's a revolving door, in essence, between rehab facilities and sober living facilities in Palm Beach County. Describe how it worked. When people would get on that plane, arrive in Florida, what happened?
The tip of the spear, Elizabeth, is the false advertising. You Google rehab near me, and for a while, the rehab that would pop up first would not be a rehab near you. It was whoever bought those keywords from Google, and it would usually be a place in South Florida. So if you lived in Seattle, the rehab near you would be in Delray Beach.
Florida.
Right, it'd be some place called like Heavenly Valley Recovery in Delray Beach, Florida. Mind you, there are no valleys in Delray Beach, and where you're going ain't heavenly. And you'd get sent a free one-way plane ticket, which we eventually made a felony, but you would come down to South Florida one way, and some people would get off the plane with golf clubs, with polo saddles, like they're gonna go ride horses, and you'd get sent to an awful sober home that just milked your insurance and kept you in a perpetual cycle of relapse rather than recovery.
The Affordable Care Act, which was signed into law during, obviously, President Obama's administration, is still right now widely popular with a lot of Americans, and because it gives many Americans who weren't on health insurance, and it mandated coverage for addiction treatment right as this crisis was burgeoning. It's a great thing in theory, yes, but these bad operators saw a potential for massive profit. How did they use the ACA?
I support the ACA. The ACA has done a lot of good. It opened the doors of treatment for millions of Americans. If you ask a politician what to do about the drug problem in America, they would say more rehab, more money for drug treatment. But what if the money is the problem? And that's where there are some excesses in the ACA. So the ACA has no limit on how many times you can go through rehab, yearly or a lifetime. And it reimburses on an old school fee-for-service basis. So the more services provided, the more money a treatment center makes. If you're a bad treatment provider, a rogue one, an unscrupulous one, you keep people in that unending cycle of relapse.
You don't want them to get better, because if they get better, you don't make any money.
That's where the money is. There's no money in sobriety. And so the way the system is, rewards the unscrupulous providers, the bad guys, at the expense of the good guys. Now, this is different than other types of healthcare fraud, because if you went to a hospital, had a broken arm, and the doctor said, keep coming back here every month, Elizabeth, I'm gonna keep breaking your arm, and I'll give you $1,000. You'll be like, get lost, I'm calling the cops. But if you have the brain disease of addiction, you often are a willing victim. You'll take those benefits. You'll take the free housing and the drugs and the money and stay in that cycle of relapse until you leave in an ambulance or a body bag.
So how did you crack down on it all? How did you stop it in Palm Beach County?
We needed to change the laws. We went to the legislature. We got money for a task force to target the problem, and then we learned that the laws were so weak that it was like a slap on the wrist for patient brokering or the false advertisement. So what we did was we strengthened the laws, and then we had this task force. We had buy-in from
You arrested people.
We made 121 arrests in 5 years. We had buy-in from all the different law enforcement agencies, and we used our tougher laws to go after them. And it's amazing what a pair of handcuffs will do to someone's behavior. It will change their behavior quickly. The problem is that a lot of the bad guys who we didn't arrest moved out of town to places.
Where have they gone?
Well, a lot of them go to Orange County, California, Malibu, places that are warm weather, tourist places, but they don't have the task force. In fact, a lot of communities don't even know what the Florida Shuffle is. That's why I wrote this book. It's a call to arms for the whole country to do something about this.
Well, Dave, Aronberg, I hope they do, and I hope everybody who has a loved one who might be struggling with addiction reads this book, because it'll help you navigate the good treatment facilities. There are good ones out there from the bad, which there are also.
It's an important point. There are a lot of good ones, and they really helped us clean up the Florida Shuffle.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.